So you're looking to dive deeper into the world of travel and nature photography, but you don't know where to start. I want to go ahead and help get rid of some of that fog by walking you guys through some basic steps on how to actually get out the door and enjoying everything that this world has to offer. Let's talk about the main thing you need to think about, and that is how are you going to shelter yourself when you're out staying? Whether it's overnight or over the weekend, or even for an extended period of time, having proper shelter is crucial when you're on the road. I found myself car camping a lot more in the beginning stages of my travel and nature photography career because I was covering lots of ground. I was doing more overlanding during that time and setting up a tent and pitching a tent and bringing out all my gear and putting it all back day in, day out would get very old. So being able to have a somewhat comfortable place to sleep in my car made it a lot easier for me to go from location to location. Let's talk about maybe just some ways of how to set up a sleeping setup in an SUV like a 4Runner like we have here. So these 4Runners have tons of space, obviously, especially when you put the seat down. Now, one of the easy ways of doing this to create a cushion for yourself is just grab some couch cushions. My brother-in-law, I actually got this idea from him. He just takes the cushion off of his futon in his bedroom, so when he goes out and camps, he just takes that with him, and that's what he sleeps on when he's out here. And the nice thing is you already own the couch in that situation, so it's not even going to cost you anything extra just to have a place to crash. Now, if you want something more specific for your space, then grabbing something like this would be perfect because not only could you use one of these in a car camping situation, but they're perfect for backpacking, they're great for tent camping, and this is just a little sleeping mat. And since these are designed for camping and backpacking, they're usually designed to be inflated without any tools. Now, these aren't the world's most comfortable thing by any means. It's just a 2-inch air mattress essentially, but they're cheap, they pack up really small, and you can use them in multiple different ways. So the money that you're using for one of these is stretched a lot further. I will link this one down below, but there's tons of options. If you go to Walmart even, there's tons of great cheap camping mat options. Now, I do really like this one though because it does pack up really small. An upgraded option you could look at, so like I used when I first started, is an air mattress. They make air mattresses for a lot of vehicles now that go in the back seats, that fill up a lot of that unused space or legroom that typically would be used for people sitting back there. And that's what I did when I first started doing this. I had an air mattress in the back, and that's what I slept on during my trips. Now, in an SUV like this, you do also have room to just put like a twin size air mattress in here if you wanted to. So if you wanted to actually just grab an air mattress and throw it in here, it would work. Now, the next thing is talking about bedding. Now, the nice thing is you already have bedding in your house, so you could just grab some blankets and bring them with you, and that's how you could stay warm and comfortable when on the road. But you could also look at getting a sleeping bag. Now, one of my favorite sleeping bags is this one I got from Teton Sports. And the reason is again, it packs up really small, so I'm not taking up a bunch of space in my vehicle. So this one in particular is, I don't know if you guys can see that, a 0-degree bag. Now, a 0-degree bag like this might be a little bit much in the summertime, but by unzipping it and just allowing some airflow, I've slept in this comfortably in the summer, because even in the summertime, the temperatures are dropping down. But I have been a big fan of this bag. Me and my wife both have one, and we've put them through their paces for sure. So you could also get something like this, where it's a mummy bag that kind of wraps around your face, or wraps around you. These are great for small spaces. They're very popular in the backpacking community because they pack up so small. If you're claustrophobic, I wouldn't recommend them though, because they're tight. That's kind of the whole point, is they hug really tight to your body. They stay really insulated. So if you're looking for a small system that keeps you really warm, this would be a fantastic option. Now, since I'm kind of targeting other photographers and filmmakers and travelers like that, one of the things we got to think about when we're on the road is keeping our equipment charged. Obviously, if you're in a car, you can charge your stuff while you're driving. So that's one option. A lot of cars come with an actual AC 110 outlet. Ours actually has a 400 watt AC outlet in the back that can charge and power things a lot quicker off the alternator. So that is car dependent for you, but there is that option. Or if it's just an overnight trip, you can obviously have all your batteries that you need to make it through your trip, and then maybe get like a little portable power block to charge your cell phone or something. This is now going to lead me into not really the necessary budget items to get you guys out and traveling, but maybe some nice upgrades that will make life even better for you on the road. So let me show you one of these. So this right here is my Jackery 1000, and that sun is kind of harsh right now, so it's hard to see, but you guys actually might remember this from my testing of the EcoFlow and Zero Breeze. I use this battery bank to kind of test some of the capabilities of powering those units, and this Jackery 1000 was one of the first battery banks that I ever got, and it's been absolutely plenty for what I need. It has got a 1000 watt pure sine wave inverter with a 1000 or roughly 1000 watt hour battery capacity. It has tons of different ways to charge it. Right now I have it plugged into the solar panels. I have 200 watts of solar, and then I have a way to charge off the cigarette lighter when you're driving. And then on the DC side, you have your cigarette lighter port, so any type of charger that goes in there. And then you have a few different than a USB-C charger that all operate at different amperages. So if you don't need to charge something too quick, or if it's a smaller thing, you're not having to burn up a ton. I believe is kind of the theory behind that. These also have a flashlight on them, so if you need a little bit of camp light, you do have that. But the nice thing about getting a Jackery unit, it doesn't have to even be Jackery, but that size of portable battery bank, whether it be Blue Yeti, whether it be Goal Zero, Jackery, EcoFlow, you name it. The nice thing about it is you now unlock opportunity to run lighting inside of your vehicle when you're camping. So if you need to see a little bit easier, you can run lighting. You can charge all your camera equipment. You can charge your phone, you name it. Now you have all that capability to keep yourself powered when you're out on the road. Now, one of the nice creature comforts and added bonuses of having a power bank like the Jackery with you is you can use something like this, which is a heated blanket. So in terms of having a nice sleeping bag, if you pair it with a heated blanket, maybe a quilt or something like that, you're gonna be able to stay really warm out in the winter time. Now this particular blanket is one I just received. I got this actually from a company called Jartoo. They sent it for me to review, and I want to talk to you guys about some of the features that come with this. It has a really nice soft feel to it. It's super lightweight. There's even these buttons that allow you to clip it around yourself if you want to wear it, which is nice. But one thing that I like about these, and right now I know we're going into spring and summer, and so thinking about heating solutions is not really the top of our mind, but with a nice lightweight blanket like this, you don't have to actually run the heater to have a comfortable blanket. We actually just keep this in the van now. If my wife needs a throw blanket, this is what we grab. And the cool thing, because you can disconnect the power, it's, you know, most heated blankets, the power is usually always connected. It's like built in. There's this nice pocket on the inside that you just take this power end, throw that in, zip it up, and now you can actually safely machine wash this. When it comes time to use the Jartoo blanket, you just get that pouch that we talked about, unzip that, you pull this out, you grab your brick here. Now this runs off of 24 volt, so it has this AC DC adapter for you to use. You plug that in over here, take your system like the Jackery, turn your AC power on, and one of the things that I really like about this Jartoo blanket, that is your controller right there. This button. Typically a lot of the heat blankets, like if you go to Target or something, buy it, it's like a huge bulky remote, and in terms of small space, having that built in is super cool. So all you do is just press the button. You'll see that it's a bluish teal color now. It goes to a green color, then it goes to a purple color, and it goes to a red color. Those are your 4 heat settings, and I will link what those temperatures are right here so you can see, but you just click that and that simply toggles between. I'll show you guys right now. I have it on the highest setting. And it is only pulling about 79 watts to 82. It kind of fluctuates between those two numbers there. So I could easily run the Jartoo blanket all night long if I wanted to and keep myself nice and warm, but more importantly, my wife can run it all night long and keep it nice and warm. Now that is sleeping. Now we need to talk about how you're gonna eat and how you're gonna drink. First off, let's talk about storing water. Now this jug right here, I have had for a few years now. It is a, I believe 6 gallon, yep, it is a 6 gallon jug. I actually inherited this from my granddad. I'll show you guys here. I don't have any water in it right now, that's why I'm lifting it around pretty easily. Doing this with one hand is fun. There is a water spout, just like it's similar to your gas cans. So if you wanted to pour out your water, this thing is great. For 6 gallons of water, I'm able to have fresh water with me for either cooking with, drinking out of, and bathing with if I need to. Carrying fresh water on this, like obviously I'm showing you guys some of their options. They even have collapsible options out there, but they're not expensive, and then you can carry a bunch of water with you, and then they're refillable, so you don't have to keep buying a bunch of water jugs or a bunch of water bottles to carry with you. One of those would be perfect for a weekend. In terms of food storage, you could simply just get a cooler with some ice and store all your food and some waters and things like that inside of a cooler. Now the coolers I like are the Yeti coolers or the Arctic coolers. Now those are pretty expensive, but they hold ice for so stinking long, and that is a big deal for me on keeping me out there adventuring rather than having to go to a grocery store every single day to grab some ice. Now jumping back into an upgrade option if you have something like a Jackery, and that is a 12-volt refrigerator. The nice thing about 12-volt refrigerators, they really don't pull that much power. Then all of that space you're dedicating inside your vehicle is food storage space. If you have an ice chest, you have food in the chest and you also have ice in the chest. So a lot of that space isn't dedicated just to food. And when you're in a car and in a small space, every inch matters. So having something like a 12-volt refrigerator would allow for you to maximize your space as much as possible. Now, right now, we are living in the golden age for this type of technology and the batteries and the 12-volt refrigerators. In the past, they were as expensive as $1,500, and that's really the cheapest you can find. But now, with companies like Goal Zero and Blue Yeti, you can find refrigerators as cheap as $500. So what about eating? Because frankly, that's why we do this. We come outdoors so we can eat food in cool places and make people feel jealous, right? There are tons of different ways to successfully do this, and I've done it myself. You can either meal prep beforehand and have a way of heating it up, either with like a little camp stove, maybe even bring a small microwave with you if you have a Jackery unit, have a Coleman cooktop, or a Jetboil cooktop or something like that. You could just commit to eating cold foods only. In your ice chest, just bring some bread, maybe some deli meats, and eat sandwiches the whole time. That gets old for me, especially how much time I spend on the road. One of the other things you can think about doing is getting MREs from like a store like REI, or you could get backpacking meals and just boil some water, and there you go. Now you have some meals. All you have to worry about doing is finding a way to boil water. And the last thing you could obviously do is just buy food when you're on the road. You could just grab, a Subway sandwich, or you can grab something from your truck stop when you're out and about. Not the best for you, especially if you're spending a lot of time on the road. You'll start to gain those lbs pretty quick, but that is up to your personal preference on what you want to do and the budget you're trying to stay in. Now, if you are interested in learning more of my thoughts on cooktops, this video right here is the one for you, where I talk about one of my favorite cooktops for overlanding and travel. But that's all I have for you guys today. I will see you in next week's episode.